Today, let us start with the first problem on epicyclic gear train. So here we have the question. Figure shows an epicyclic gear train where the arm A, the driver, and the annular wheel D is the follower. So this is the figure what they have given. So here we have a arm A and the annular wheel D, and A is the driver and the annular wheel D is the follower. The wheel D has 112 teeth and B has 48 teeth. So this is the wheel B what we have. It has 48 teeth. B runs freely on pin P. So this is the wheel B which runs on the pin P freely, and D is separately driven. That is what it is given here. D is separately driven, and if the arm A runs at 100 rpm and wheel D at 50 rpm in the same direction, find the speed of wheel B and C. So this is the given question. We have to find the speed of wheel B and C with the given data. So first we look into the given data. It is given that D has 112 teeth and B has 48 teeth. So here we have 112 teeth for D, and for B it is 48 teeth. And for all the gear train problems, usually we consider as all the gears have equal pitch circle radius proportional to the number of teeth. So here we have to consider pitch circle radius is proportional to the number of teeth. When we look into the figure, considering radius of wheel D, we can write RD is equal to radius of B, wheel B, plus diameter of wheel C. So RD is equal to radius of wheel D is equal to RB, that is radius of wheel B, plus 2 times the radius of wheel C. And since pitch circle radius is proportional to the number of teeth, we can write RD as ZD is equal to ZB plus 2 times ZC. Substituting the values of ZD and ZB, that is ZD as 112 and ZB as 48, in this equation we get number of teeth on the wheel C, ZC, as 32. After finding the value of ZC, the next procedure is to start with the tabular column method to find the speed of wheel B and C. So let us see the tabular column method. To start with the tabular column method, so first we have to write the tabular column of condition of motion. Next we'll go from the center of the epicyclic gear train. So first we have the arm A, so let us write arm A as the first column. Next we have wheel B, so we'll write gear B as the second column. Next we have gear C, so here gear C as the third column. And next we have gear D, so gear D is the fourth column after the condition of motion. So we always write this tabular column in the from center to away from the center. So starting from the center, arm A, next wheel B, next wheel C, next wheel D. So we start with the center and we move away from the center in the tabular column method. So this is the way to write the first. Next we'll fix the arm A. and we give plus 1 revolution to the next wheel. So fixing the arm A, give plus 1 revolution to the gear B. So we write fix arm A plus give 1 revolution to gear B. So arm A I will write it as 0 since it is fixed, and gear B will be written as a plus 1, and next we have gear C. So if you look into the gear figure, gear C is driven by wheel B, so driver gear divided by driven gear. Since B and C will rotate in the opposite direction, so it is minus ZP by ZC. B is the driver, C is the driven gear. Since C will rotate opposite to the gear B, we use negative sign. Negative sign indicates both the wheels are rotating in the opposite direction. So minus ZB by ZC. Next, gear D. So B will drive the gear C and C will drive the D. So minus ZB by ZC, driver divided by driven, into here C is the driver and D will be the driven, so ZC by ZD, and here ZC will get cancelled. We left with minus ZB by ZD. So for gear D we have the equation minus ZB by ZD. So again negative sign indicates both the wheel rotate in the opposite direction. If the first row of the tabular column is get over, then the next steps are quite simple. So we multiply by x to the first row. So multiplying x with 0, we will get 0. X with plus 1, we get x. Then x with minus ZB by ZC, so minus ZB by ZC into x. Similarly, minus ZB by ZD into x. Next, we'll add y to the second row. So add y to the second row. Y plus 0 is y. Y plus x is y plus x. Next we have y plus ZB by ZC. Since it is negative sign is there, plus into minus is again minus. So y minus ZB by ZC into x. Similarly, y plus into minus will become minus, y minus ZB by ZD into x. So here we have the equation for the speed of gear D, gear C, gear B and arm A. So with the help of these equations, we'll find out the speed of the required gears. So considering arm A, which runs at 100 rpm, it is given in the question. So that is, for arm A we have y, so y is equal to 100, and wheel D runs at 50 rpm, which is also given in the question, and it is also given that it runs in the same direction of A. Therefore, considering the equation of gear D, we have y minus ZB by ZD into x. This is the speed equation for the gear D. So y minus ZB by ZD into x equal to 50, which is given. It implies that y is equal to 100 minus ZB as 48 we have and ZD as 112 we have. So only unknown in the equation is x. So by simplifying this equation, we get x is equal to 116.67. Next, we'll consider the speed of gear B. Speed of gear B equation, what we have, y plus x. So speed of gear B is equal to y plus x is equal to y value we have 100 and x value we have 116.67. By adding these two, we get speed of gear B as 216.67 rpm, and it has a positive sign, therefore we can say it runs in the same direction of arm A and wheel D. Next, considering the speed of gear C, we have the equation y minus zb by zc into x. So here we have speed of gear C, y minus zb by zc into x. Substituting the parameters, y value as 100, zb we have 48, and zc we have calculated as 32. So into x value we have 116.67. So substituting the parameters, we get the speed of gear C as minus 75 rpm. So minus 75 rpm. Negative sign indicates that the gear C will rotate in the opposite direction of arm A and wheel D. That is why it is negative. So we write wheel C runs at 75 rpm in the opposite direction of arm A and wheel D. Hence, we found the required speed of gear B as 216.67 rpm and speed of gear C as 75 rpm in the opposite direction of arm A and wheel D. So this is the solution for the first problem. So here we have the second problem on the gear train. An epicyclic gear train consists of sun wheel S, a stationary internal gear E, and 3 identical planet wheels P carried on a star-shaped planet carrier C. The size of different toothed wheels are such that the planet carrier C rotates at 1/5 of speed of the sun wheel. The minimum number of teeth on any wheel is 16. The driving torque on the sun wheel is 100 Newton meter. Determine the first one, number of teeth on different wheels of train, and second one, torque necessary to keep the internal gear stationary. So here we have the star-shaped planet carrier C. So this is the planet carrier C, and we have planet wheels P. So we have 3 planet wheels P and a sun wheel S and a stationary internal gear as a E. So this is the gear train arrangement according to the given question, and it is said that the planet carrier C rotates at 1/5 of the speed of the sun wheel. That is, for every 5 revolution of sun wheel, planet carrier will rotate for 1 revolution. According to the given question, the number of teeth on different wheels as a minimum is required as a 16, as the number of teeth on any wheel is 16. Let us take the number of teeth on the sun wheel as 16. Again, since the pitch circle radius is proportional to the number of teeth, the gears have the same pitch. So considering this, we can write radius of wheel E. So this is the wheel E, outer wheel. Radius of wheel E is equal to radius of wheel S plus the diameter of wheel P, or the 2 times the diameter of the wheel P. So we can write RE is equal to RS plus 2 times the radius of wheel P. Since P circle radius is proportional to the number of teeth, we can write this as ZE is equal to ZS plus 2 times ZP. Therefore, this equation can be written for ZP as ZP is equal to ZE, bringing this ZS on this side will get negative sign, ZE minus ZS divided by 2. So let us call this as equation number 1. Next we will see the tabular column procedure. So here we have tabular column. So in this, first we write condition of motion. Next, moving from the center, first we have planet carrier C, and next we have sun wheel S and planet wheel P, and next we have internal gear. So if you look into the figure, here you can see first we have planet carrier C, next we have sun wheel S, next we have planet wheel P, and next we have the internal gear E. So in this order only we write the tabular column. So once we write this tabular column in the order from the center to away from the center, next we have, so in the condition of motion, let us first fix the planet carrier C and give plus 1 revolution to the sun wheel S. So I will write 0 for the planet carrier since it is fixed, and I will write plus 1 for the sun wheel since it is given 1 revolution. And next we have planet wheel P. If you look into the figure, the S is the driver and P will become the driven. Therefore, we write minus ZS by ZP. Negative sign indicates that P will rotate opposite direction to the ZS. So it is driver divided by driven. So minus ZS by ZP. Next we have internal gear E. So minus ZS by ZP into ZP by ZE, because if you look into the figure, S will drive the P and P will drive the E. Therefore, driver divided by driven, that is minus ZS by ZP into ZP by ZE. So ZP will get cancelled, and we write ZS by ZE as the equation for the internal gear E. And one more thing is to observe that here we have written ZP by ZE and we have not used a negative sign here, since ZE and ZP are internal gears, they both will rotate in the same direction. So here we have not used the negative sign. So here at the end we have minus ZS by ZE. That indicates that ZE will rotate in the opposite direction of ZS. So next row in the tabular column, or the next procedure is multiply by x to the first row. So multiplying x with 0 we have 0, multiplying x with 1 we have x, multiplying x with minus ZS by ZP we have minus ZS by ZP into x. Similarly minus ZS by ZE into x. Next we'll add y to the second row. So adding y to the 0 we have y plus x, we have y plus x. Next y plus this parameter. So here we have a negative, plus into negative is a negative, y minus zs by zp into x. Next we have y minus zs by ze into x. This is for internal gear E. So these are the equation for the speed equation for the different wheels. So according to the given question, we have for every 5 revolution of sun wheel, planet carrier will rotate for 1 revolution. Therefore, we have planet carrier speed as y. Therefore, y is equal to 1. And for this one, we have sun wheel speed as y plus x. That is equal to 5. Because here we have for 5 revolution of sun wheel, planet carrier will rotate for 1 revolution. So y is equal to 1 and y plus x is equal to 5. So only unknown in this equation is the x, and that x will be equal to 4. Next we have internal gear E, and it is given as a stationary, and we obtain the speed equation for internal gear E as y minus zs by ze into x. Since it is given that it is stationary, we put speed as a 0. And next, substituting the parameter values, y as 1, because y value we have 1, minus zs by ze into x as a 4. So by simplifying this equation, we get ze is equal to 4zs. That is nothing but, if you bring this 1 on this side, it is plus 1. Next, ze, if you bring this on this side, ze will be equal to 4zs. So z is equal to 4zs. And number of teeth on the sun wheel, we have taken it as a 16. Therefore 4 into 16 is equal to 64. That is the number of teeth on the ze. Next, from equation number 1, we have number of teeth on the P as ze minus zs divided by 2. So substituting ze as 64 and zs as 16, we get number of teeth on the wheel P as 24. Next we have second bit in the question, torque necessary to keep the internal gear stationary. For this we need to write the energy equation. Before we write this energy equation, we should keep in your mind that the sun wheel S and planet carrier C are connected to the machinery outside system. Hence, it transmits the external torque, whereas P rotates on its own pin fixed to planet carrier C. That is, the P does not transmit any external torque since it is not connected to any outside machinery. Therefore, from the energy equation, we can write product of torque into the speed of the sun wheel, product of torque into speed of the carrier planet C, and product of torque into the speed of the wheel E. And here we have not considered the planet wheel P since it is not connected to the outside torque and it is not transmitting any external torque. Now, from according to the given data, we have internal gear is a stationary, that is speed of the gear E is 0, and once you substitute here 0, so this parameter will become 0. So we left with the torque and speed of the sun wheel, torque and speed of the carrier wheel C. So this parameter is 0. Substituting the values of the known parameters, the torque of the sun wheel is 100, it is given, and speed of the sun wheel as 5 rpm, and torque of the career planet we don't know. The speed of the career planet is 1 revolution. For this 1 revolution, or the sun wheel when it rotates for 5 revolution, the career planet wheel will rotate 1 revolution. Based on that data, we have written this speed as 5 and here it is 1. So only unknown in this equation is the torque of the planet carrier. By calculating this, we get negative 500 Newton meter. Now from the torque equation, we have Ts plus Tc plus Te is equal to 0. Since we know the torque of speed, the torque of the sun wheel as 100 and torque of the career planet as negative 500, and we don't know the torque of E. So by calculating this, we found that the torque of wheel E is 400 Newton meter. That is, torque necessary to keep the internal gear stationary is 400 Newton meter. So this is the solution for the second bit of the question. So torque required or the necessary to keep the internal gears as stationary, it is 400 Newton meter. So this is the solution for the given problem.